We're here in one of the most popular EV markets in the world, test driving Nissan's newest electric vehicle. Last year in Sweden, electric vehicles accounted for around 36% of the new car market. So it makes sense that Nissan would choose Stockholm to launch its latest EV. The Nissan Ariya, pronounced Ariya like the opera, hasn't been confirmed for Australia yet. However, Nissan Australia has said it would love the Ariya in local showrooms and maybe as soon as next year. In anticipation, we spent time behind the wheel of what Nissan is calling its newest flagship model. So, is it any good? Let's find out.
It certainly looks the goods. Its sharp creases and angular styling a winner to our eyes. It's also bigger than it appears in photos, some 17 centimetres longer than the new Qashqai e-Power, and tellingly, just a scant 2 centimetres shorter than the Toyota RAV4. Make no mistake, the Nissan Ariya is by every measure a medium SUV with an imposing curbside presence and space enough inside for the average family. It's a beautifully crafted interior too, with interesting materials and textures liberally sprinkled throughout, as well as some pretty neat party tricks. The centre console, for instance, slides forwards and backwards, creating space wherever you need it, either the front or the second row. There's no central tunnel in the front row either, and that extra space on the floor gives an impression of roominess that's hard not to be impressed by. A 12.3-inch infotainment touchscreen runs satellite navigation, as well as Apple and Android smartphone mirroring. It's a slick screen with sharp resolution and crisp graphics. It's a similar tale for the 12.3-inch digital driver display, which can be toggled through a host of screens showing all manner of data. And if that's not enough, a 10-inch colour head-up display projects vital information, including navigation directions onto the windscreen. You're not wanting for information inside the Ariya. The second row is generously proportioned too. There's an abundance of knee, leg and headroom, although footroom under the front seats is a little on the tight side. But, thanks to the lack of a drivetrain tunnel and thanks to the sliding centre console, the feeling of spaciousness in row 2 is tremendous. We tested the entry-level Ariya at launch, but there's nothing cut price about what is likely to be the most affordable Ariya. Power comes from a 160 kilowatt 300 Newton metre electric motor driving the Ariya's front wheels. Nissan reckons it's good for a 7.5 second dash to 100 kilometres an hour, and that feels about right too. Powering the motor is a 63 kilowatt hour battery pack that offers 403 kilometres of driving range based on the more accurate WLTP testing standard. It can be charged at up to 130 kilowatts and at peak DC power can be replenished from 20 to 80% in around 30 minutes. A more powerful 178 kilowatt version with a larger 87 kilowatt hour battery array offers up to 530 kilometres of driving range. And topping the lineup, a dual electric motor all-wheel drive Ariya, dubbed E-Force, can dispatch the 0 to 100 km an hour sprint in just 5.7 seconds, while also providing 500 kilometres of driving range from its 87 kilowatt hour battery. But, while headline-grabbing sprint times make for good storylines, even in its most affordable guise, the Nissan Ariya is a delight to drive. There's an eagerness to the way the Ariya moves away from standstill, acceleration that is as rapid as it is smooth. The cabin remains beautifully plush and quiet too, a refined experience inside, even when on the move. Some tyre roar permeates the cabin at highway speeds, but decent sound deadening mitigates most of it. The ride too is compliant and comfortable, the Ariya gliding over all but the nastiest of imperfections with barely a ripple felt inside the cabin. Better yet, when the temptation and opportunity to throw it at some corners arises, Nissan's electric SUV proves capable and agile, belying its size and, in this spec, circa 1800 kilogram weight. It's as surprising as it is capable. A mature electric EV that draws on the experience Nissan has gained over the last 12 years with its Leaf hatchback, and then improves it by every measure. Our test loop through Stockholm and the surrounding areas returned an indicated 17 kilowatt hour energy consumption. Tellingly, we covered 97.3 kilometres of driving in various conditions and used, according to the driver display, just 79 kilometres of range. That's a good return on energy investment. Playing its part is Nissan's e-pedal, which harvests the electricity generated during braking and returns it to the battery to extend the Ariya's range. Nissan Australia has yet to confirm the Ariya for local dealerships, although the smart money would be on its new flagship hitting the high street next year. As to pricing, Nissan Australia is also keeping mum, but if it were to land around the $70,000 mark, the Ariya would square off silently against a host of EVs from mainstream manufacturers in an ever-growing segment. We'll have to wait for more details, but in the meantime, be sure to check out our full written review on Drive.com.au. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe buttons to keep up with the latest news and reviews on our channels.